Emergencies are unpredictable, but you don't have to be unprepared. Peak Alerts sends you targeted emergency alerts in real time for the places that matter to you most, so you know what's happening and what to do next. Know first, act fast. That's the power of Peak Alerts.
Hey there, crew. Good morning. It is Wednesday. It is January 28th. Welcome to Mornings with Meister here on Peaks to Plains Weather. And I do want to welcome Peak Alerts to the Peaks to Plains Weather family. That is a product that is offered by the El Paso Teller County 911 Authority. And I am a big proponent of having multiple ways to get alerts and notifications when emergencies happen. And that is a good way to do it. It is powered by Everbridge, and you can go to the El Paso and Teller County 911 Facebook, Instagram pages, their website, Google search it, however you want to get there, and they can help you download that. And that is a good thing for residents of El Paso and Teller County to have. So I would encourage that. It's geolocated. If there's an evacuation for a fire or something like that, or some other notification, maybe a hazardous materials leak, something like that, they can let you know. And that's one of the things, obviously, that the government wants to do to help keep everybody safe. So they are working hard there at the El Paso and Teller County 911 Authority. Good morning to you. It is Hump Day here, and our temperatures are going to take a little bit of a boost as that happens. And so, you know, we are ahead of a wave today. And so I'm going to start off with our short-term forecast here. And I'm going to begin with that by showing you a time lapse from A Basin from yesterday. This is a beautiful look back here in Montezuma Bowl. You see the cumulus clouds that we had over the mountains yesterday, and the light kind of zipping through off of the slopes there. Beautiful look. I'm not sure if Montezuma Bowl is open. Given the snow, a little bit of blowing snow up top yesterday. And then we get a really, really nice sunset here late in the day, kind of a beautiful Colorado kiss to the end of the day there as the sun was going down. That was a good look. High temps across the region yesterday, 44 for Colorado Springs, 52 for Pueblo. Gunnison started off 17 below yesterday, only made it to 20. We've got that cold air from the weekend trapped on the valley floor there. That's going to take a little bit of a wind maker to kind of scoop that out. Cold air is dense. The air molecules are close together. Because of gravity, it's heavy. So you get it into one of those big alpine valleys, it's tough to scoop it out, and it takes a decently strength weather system to move that through. Gunnison's 14 below this morning. Alamos is 0, way better than 14 below, but not as warm as other places where we do have teens and 20s. Warmest spots, no big surprise there, right along the foothills. And check out Eads, it's 4. So now, if you think of forecasting the weather in Iowa or in Kansas, where there's a lot less variability. I mean, my friends across the country, they're like, why do you keep forecasting the weather there up against the Rockies? I mean, you get, even it's a quiet morning, but look how wacko and how big of a difference the temperatures are. So yeah, fun. Let's check some cams here as the day gets underway. We're looking I-70 in Lyman, where the sun's coming up on the eastern horizon. 11 degrees there. You're heading up to Denver. No issues from a weather perspective. A little bit warmer in Castle Rock this morning than it is out across parts of the plains. And then you get into the foothills and you find some chillier temps. In Cascade this morning, it's running 12. Pueblo, we've got 17. So kind of just depends where you are. Here's our next weather maker coming at us from the northwest. And I'm going to highlight it here because this thing is trying to break down a ridge of high pressure. You kind of see some of that moisture in Northern California and Nevada sort of lifting off to the northeast there as it's kind of encountering and fighting that ridge. I mean, that thing is bringing some moisture with it. There's no doubt about it. And as it tries to dive off to the southeast here, it's going to lose a little bit of oomph thanks to the ridge of high pressure that's overhead. So we'll notice some differences with it. they're just not going to be as significant as some of the areas that have seen some decent showers off to the west. We do have some high clouds that are already increasing this morning, making for a pretty sunrise out there. I think we noticed that more through the day today. Ahead of the wave, I might get some stacked lenticular clouds, some mountain wave clouds that are a little bit thicker in the afternoon than they'll be as the day begins. But you'll notice that and see how the back edge of those clouds kind of runs from Denver down to the Springs and then the eastern plains. The computer model is picking up on the mountain wave clouds, which I love when it does that. The mountain wave clouds are my favorite kind of clouds. They're just pretty. Ahead of the wave today, because there is a cold front with it, will be a little bit warmer than yesterday. I think might even hit 60 in the southeast corner of the state in Baca County for Springfield. Lots of us will be in the 50s east of the mountains today. Colorado Springs, we're high enough. We probably miss it, but we'll be a couple degrees warmer than yesterday. And I think Gunnison ends up working on that chilly air today, maybe about 8 to 10 degrees warmer than we had yesterday. Here's the big thing that most of us will notice with this system, and we'll start to see it during the day today as it gets a little bit closer, approaching us from the west. The breezes will pick up. And then overnight, you see that happens over the plains. A cold front moves through. Let me go back a little bit here on the weather computer and show you in the evening. Watch what happens over the plains here. Right there. Around Ordway, Kiowa to Lyman. I'm going to move this back and forth. See that north wind developing? That's the cold front with the system that moves in overnight tonight. And so by the afternoon, we start to see some gusts pick up over the mountains. We may see some gusts in parts of the west side of Colorado Springs, maybe down around Broadmoor, certainly between Canyon City and Pueblo, parts of the eastern plains where we get some gusts between 30 and 40 miles per hour. But not everybody will get those. There'll be some isolated areas where you're kind of protected from that. Then as we move through the overnight and the front arrives out over the plains, we'll see some gusts develop in some spots out east as well, probably stronger away from the interstate than it'll be up against the interstate as we head into early Thursday morning, but enough so that you'll notice it. Some gusts around or maybe over 30 miles per hour. Then as we head into Thursday morning and through the day on Thursday, the breezes will continue behind this system. And over the plains in particular, that'll be the big difference between today and tomorrow, is that we'll have those northwest breezes. And those sink off of the Palmer Divide down to the Arkansas River. So even though we'll be behind a cold front on Thursday, I don't think our temperatures are too different. I mean, we'll still be in the 50s. Now, some of us, maybe get a bigger drop. Notice Springfield in particular, that's about an 8 to 10 degree drop. We'll notice it. But along the Front Range in the cities, I'm not sure that we'll notice that too much. So let's see. Let's check in with a couple folks here early this morning, and want to say hi to some of you. Jim is excited that it's Meister time. All right, Jim, thanks for joining me this morning. And then Martin this is a wish cast. Says, no wind today in Pueblo, right, Matt? Martin, I think you'll end up with some later in the afternoon, but this morning, not too bad. Jennifer says that it was nice outside as we went to appointments. And Stephen says, good morning from Pueblo. Good morning, Stephen. It is good to see you here early this morning. So as we get the day underway, I want to share something with you that I got from one of the Peaks to Plains crew, and I want to give you an invite to maybe do something similar. So Amy bought her husband a Peaks to Plains shirt, and you can see it there on his left chest, the Peaks to Plains, and he was wearing it to work out at Orange Theory Fitness. You can tell that by the orange lights there. And so Amy sent this in to me. She didn't send me the name of her husband, but he's fired up, he's in shape because he's at OTF, and he's repping. He's part of the Peaks to Plains crew. You can be part of the Peaks to Plains crew too. You can rep Peaks to Plains around town, and you can do so on the merch page of peakstoplainsweather.com. And so the shirt that he has is, I think, this white one right here. Yeah, that was the one that he was repping right there. So he's got the Peaks to Plains on the front there, and then check out the back. You get the big drop on the back. Lots of you love the drop. So that's a fun thing you can do and be part of the Peaks to Plains crew. I want to let you know the other thing that has been updated on peakstoplainsweather.com is our partners that are making Peaks to Plains weather possible, and I am helping them grow their businesses. And so I encourage you to, when you have decisions to make from a consumer perspective, celebrate these businesses. Like as an example, Furryland Mobile Pet Grooming. If you go to the website and you click on their ad or their logo, it goes right to their website. And then you can see the services they can come to do. If you have a dog that maybe stresses out going to the groomer, have the groomer come to you. How's that sound? Something that is a little bit better and easier to do for your dog. So let's talk extended forecast here really quick, because it looks a little bit different than how things looked yesterday. And I'm going to kind of give you a little bit of a breakdown here of what I'm watching for as we move into the weekend. And as we widen the view, you can see that system coming at us from the west here. That's the first one. That's not the pattern change. But as that moves overhead tonight, we start to open the door, and it's going to take a few days as January ends and February begins for this pattern change to kind of develop. And so you see this system sort of diving off to the southeast overnight tonight. That's the wind maker that we talked about. And then we have this ridge that tries to rebuild for the start of the weekend. Now, Friday's kind of an interesting day because you see that red area there around Kansas City and Chicago. That's the upper level energy. That's going to end up being a little bit of a nor'easter for the east coast here as we head into the weekend, and they get some nasty weather for the second day in a row. But there's colder air for them than they had last week, at least up against the coast. And so places that we're dealing with in the Carolinas and Virginia with some sleet last weekend, they're probably just going to get snow this weekend. And you can see that the colder air looks to stay mainly to the east here, although I'll point out as we move into Friday, I'm still watching maybe over our far eastern plains. We draw on that a little bit. I don't have our temperatures dropping too much now, but we'll keep an eye on that here. Might have to shave some of you down as we head into Friday. Then we get into next weekend, or this coming weekend, I should say. And you see there's a little system off to the northeast of Colorado as we move into Saturday. That's not going to do much to our weekend. We'll be in the 50s for the Springs and Pueblo. Should be pretty nice to be outside. Certainly better than what we had last weekend. Can I get an amen? Amen. Okay, awesome. Then we get into early next week. Now, here's where the forecast starts to look different. See this area of red kind of around Lake Tahoe on the border of California and Nevada, and then the area of red over Wyoming. There's a little bit of a split that's happening in the models this morning. That wasn't there yesterday. And so with that split, the impact that we get from that system, see how those things kind of wake up a little bit or get a touch stronger into Tuesday, makes our forecast less exciting. But that's one run of one model for today. So I am keeping our forecast with the storm chance here, even though the model this morning is showing the bulk of the snow staying with that northern wave. I'm going to keep a chance of snow in for us because it's far enough away that I think that's appropriate. And so here's my extended forecast for Colorado Springs here. We'll get warmer over the weekend, and then I'm going to keep that chance in and drop our temperatures a little bit. So just something to be aware of here. All right, crew, I am excited this morning to bring you a special guest, and I'm going to put on my headphones so I can hear him. I want to welcome in early this morning. This is Ben Stratman. Ben is the owner of Ameridry Restoration. And Ben, thanks for joining me here this morning. And I wanted to ask you a question. Because with the cold air over the weekend, you know, sometimes you hear like open your cabinets and that kind of thing, like if you have an exterior wall at the house. And being a restoration company, I wanted to see, did you get calls over the weekend or maybe even into Monday about folks that had some water damage over the weekend?
Yes, Matt. Good morning to you, and thanks for having me in.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, we did. We did get some calls. We helped out a local school that had a 4-story water loss from a sink where the pipe busted. And then we got several residential homes that flooded. And just because it could have been as little as not opening the cabinets or dripping the water from the sink, that an exterior pipe froze and then went down another level and flooded the house.
Oh my
so
gosh.
yeah, I think we had around 12 calls Monday to Tuesday. So yes.
That's rough. Let me ask you something about, as a restoration company, Ben, what's the difference between what you do when there's a situation like that? And I know you do things other than water, like you do fire and mold and things. But what's like, as AmeriDry Restoration, what's specific about a restoration company versus maybe like a contractor that you might call or something?
Yeah, for us, it's our niche. So that's all we do. A general contractor a lot of times does rebuild or comes in and does the complete back end of it. For us, we just specialize in water damage. So we come in, we use a thermal imaging camera, a moisture meter, detect where the water is at, put a plan of action together with our drying equipment and the extractors that we have. And then from there, we'll work with your insurance company if that's the route it goes. And we do that start to finish, and we'll put a complete plan together with the homeowner.
Got it. So because it's your niche, as you said, and your expertise, like you can get in there, make that plan fast that you talked about. You don't have to wait for equipment to show up. You have that all ready to go, and your crew knows what to do kind of as soon as you get on site.
Yeah, absolutely, because we're IICRC certified, so all of our techs are certified to know what to do and how to do. And yeah, we work with all the insurances, which is a big thing because it's a process. I gotta say, when you start water damage to the end of it, to drying it out can be 5 to 7 days on most cases, but then getting paid from the insurance can be 30, 60, 90 days after that. So it is a little bit of a process.
Yeah, I had some friends that dealt with that. I don't know, 5 or 6 months ago, they had that, like, we're away for the weekend and came back and had that in the basement, and it certainly was a process for them. Tell me a little bit about AmeriDry Restoration. I know you've been in Colorado Springs yourself for a long time, but tell me about AmeriDry.
Yeah, so AmeriDry, we've been around over 30 years. It was existing business when I bought it about 6 years ago. And yeah, we do water, fire, mold, odor, trauma, hoarder cleanup. So we do some nasty stuff. No one really wants to call us, but when they do, there's definitely a need, and we're here to help whenever that call happens.
So wait, trauma cleanup. I didn't mean to laugh like that. I mean, obviously there are terrible situations that happen, and a need for a real specific skill set like that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, there are certifications that we take to get certified in that. But I mean, every scenario is different, obviously. So it's you got to be mentally prepared to take on that scenario. So I ask my technicians to see if it's something they want to take on, or if it's something I got to handle by myself.
Okay, my goodness sakes. Well, I mean, life happens, right? And there are situations.
It sure does.
Oh my gosh. So if someone wants to learn more about you, Ben, and AmeriDry, how can they do so? What's your website?
So our website's ameridry.com, AMERIDRI.com. And then they can call us at 719-388-8509. 388-8509.
Well, you are one of my partners here at Peaks to Plains Weather, and I wanted to thank you for that. And since we had that situation last weekend where I figured that your phone rang a little bit, I thought it was a good opportunity to bring you on today and talk about that. And I know that you don't just do like Colorado Springs. Like I know the other week you said you were out in Burlington.
Yes, correct. So we will travel. For sure. So we've done jobs 3.5 hours away. If it's a need and if it's worth it for the customer and for the insurance. So because some teams and restoration companies don't travel that far. They have their specific areas they have to stay in. For us, we're not a franchise. I own it, so we can go when it's time to go.
Okay.
So.
Well, I love small businesses. I love locally owned businesses. You are one of those. And as a small business owner myself now, I appreciate what you do, and I'm grateful for what you do. And, you're kind of one of those companies that we hope nobody needs. But when the need arises, you are there, and you are there quickly, and you have your expertise and do a good job. So, Ben, thanks for coming on with me this morning, my friend. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Have a great day, Matt.
Yeah, you too, my friend. Have a good day. I appreciate seeing you. All right, so that is Ben Stratman. He is the owner of AmeriDry Restoration and one of the partners of Peaks to Plains Weather. And I've been talking to lots of folks about coming on board and joining Peaks to Plains here. As I'm excited to get to the end of the month here and share with you how many of you have been using Peaks to Plains, the weather app, the website, following me on social media and interacting there. And I am blown away by some of these numbers, and I'm super excited to share those with you. Before we get over to the end of our day here, Demetrius says those are good guys over there at AmeriDry. Demetrius, maybe he's had to use them before, maybe he's done some work with them. Teresa says good morning from Weston, off to the west of Trinidad. Good morning to you. And we've got another member of our Peaks to Plains crew here that is joining us this morning on the show. Let's bring him in. And we've seen this gentleman before. This is a good friend of mine. And Jim, how are you doing this morning?
Oh, I'm doing well. Loving my Meister time.
Yeah?
Yep.
What's going on in your world today, Jim?
Well, I was ordering some coffee from American
Classic, yeah.
And I forgot what the code was.
Oh, okay. Well, the code is Peaks. Peaks, okay. Jim. Peaks. You get your 10% off. Don't miss that. I have the cabin roast in my mug this morning, and the cabin roast is a light roast, and it's got a little bit of a kind of toasted hazelnut finish that I am enjoying, Jim. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going with the Rocky Mountain Parks collection, so that's what I'm going to try out here.
Nice. There is the Yosemite, I know. I got that one over. There's a Yellowstone that is ready to go. So he's got a couple different options there. Spence does some good stuff. Jim, have you spent any time in the Peaks to Plains weather app?
Yes, lots of times. So.
Yeah. So what do you like? What do you enjoy in there that I'm trying to do? Because I'm trying to make the things that are most useful to people. I'm trying to just sort of spoon feed it. Like it's right there when you open the app.
Yeah, I'm liking the updates that you give. I spend quite a bit of time in the YouTube. I'll go through your weather forecast if I miss it in the first of the morning and stuff. So that's primarily where I'm doing it. But I like the weather app. I like the push notifications that I get from the app. So that's fun.
Nice. Awesome. Well, I appreciate you using it, and if not, I'd come knock on your door and be like, Jim, what are you doing? So I appreciate.
I wasn't the guy with the flooded basement, was I?
You were the guy with the flooded basement. You know you were. And that was a process, right?
That was AmeriDry that helped us out. They did.
Was it awesome? Oh, look at that! We didn't even plan that, but that's awesome. Well, like I said, when Ben was telling me some of the stuff that they did, like the hoarder and the trauma stuff, I'm like, that meant, that's awful. I can't imagine being in a situation where you need that, but you don't imagine having water damage like that either. So, they're there to try to make the situation easy for you, and the insurance part is always the fun part. I got a little insurance situation myself right now that has made me a couple times be like, what do you mean? And I'm not gonna name the company, but here's the thing that happened to me. So the guy, I'm still working on it, but he initially denied the claim, Jim. Okay. And so I'm like, all right, whatever. And he's like, well, I'll send you why it was denied, whatever. And then he sent me someone else's thing, and they were covering their roof in this situation. These people, I'm like, is this like a HIPAA violation? So I'm just having a heck of a time with my guy. But the untold stories of, having insurance coverage, and I know you've got your own stories as well. But that's what's happening in my life.
Life is good, isn't it?
Well, sometimes you got to find the things to make it be good, and my cabin roast is helping make it good. So, All right, Jim, I know you're a busy man. I will let you go. Thanks for coming on this morning, dude. I appreciate it. It's good to see you. Have a good day. That guy makes me laugh. I love him so much. And he is supporting Peaks to Plains weather, as a lot of my friends are. And you are supporting it too. And I thank you for that, my friends. We are coming up on 7 o'clock this morning. And I have a busy morning ahead of me, so I am going to dip out of here. Reminder to download the Peaks to Plains weather app, and please share it with your friends. Keep your location turned on. You can visit the website if you're like Jim and you want to order some American Classics coffee. Peaks is what you put in there. There is also Twin Hounds Biscuit Company on the website. They've got a discount as well, and I can't remember. I think it might be Peaks also. And then OxyFresh, if you mention Peaks to Plains weather, you get 10% off too. So all of those businesses are trying to make it easy for you to make some consumer choices, and I sure appreciate them. So my friends, have a good Wednesday. Watch for some of that wind tonight. I'll be doing some updates on social media today, peakstoplainsweather.com, the Peaks to Plains weather app. I'll see you tomorrow morning here on Mornings with Meister. Have a good day.